This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
You're going to need some. A member of President Trump's Foreign Policy Advisory Committee said he told several Trump campaign officials, including members of the president's inner circle, that he was heading to Moscow in July of 2016. Carter Page testified before the House Intelligence Committee last week, and in an exchange with Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy, Page said that he emailed former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski, current White House Communications Director Hope Hicks, and campaign foreign policy advisor J.D. Gordon that he was on his way there. Page also said that he told Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Again, here's another Russian contact that Jeff Sessions allegedly knew about.
And campaign co-chair Sam Klopas before he left.
By the way, yeah, you know, Gordon told him don't do it. And he went around to figure out a way to get to Russia.
Page said that Corey Lewandowski told him he could go, but the trip was not affiliated with the campaign. Lewandowski told USA Today in March that he did not say Page should travel to Russia on his own. Though he also said he couldn't remember, but, quote, I'm very clear about this. I granted nobody permission to do that. Page had not provided the emails to the House Intelligence Committee when he testified on Thursday, but said that he would. The testimony also contradicted Page's earlier comment that he only exchanged greetings with Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Dvorkovich. In an email sent after the trip, Page wrote that Dvorkovich had, quote, expressed strong support for Mr. Trump and a desire to work together toward devising better solutions in response to a vast range of current international problems. Furthermore, just shortly after returning, Page congratulated members of the Trump foreign policy team on July 14, 2016, for their, quote, excellent work on the Ukraine amendment, a reference to the Trump campaign's decision to intervene to water down a proposed amendment to the GOP's Ukraine platform. Page told the committee he was, quote, just expressing what I feel.
Let's just stop right there. David Ignatius, despite the fact that Carter Page is all over the place, and many times people are looking at his testimony, his performance art, there are lines out of that testimony that are so damning that actually start to stitch together what was happening. And when he goes over there and actually has official meetings with the Russians that I think the Attorney General knew about and others knew about, and then they go to that Ukraine amendment, people are starting to suggest perhaps a quid pro quo. You give us dirt on Hillary, we'll remove the Ukraine amendment from the GOP platform.
It was bizarre testimony. He sounded as if he was making it up as he went along. One minute he was invoking the Fifth, another minute he wasn't. Documents kept emerging that he hadn't told the committee about. Oh, I'm happy to give you those emails. And when you add this up, you see now 3 separate instances in which Trump campaign associates, Papadopoulos in his plea agreement, Page now in his descriptions of meeting with the professor, the famous July 9 meeting with Don Trump Jr. in which the Russian workers, in each of those 3 instances, the issue is what are the Russians going to do to help the Trump campaign? And the evidence now is coming from them. And you begin to see that something really hard. This has been a difficult investigation with so many things in the air. Those are the hard pieces because they show the Russians working directly to supply information to the Trump campaign that will be helpful.
And Willie, the Trump campaign actively seeking contacts with and help from Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin.
And again, you wonder when Jeff Sessions testifies before Congress 3 times that he was not aware of any Russian contacts. and he clearly was told about this meeting by Carter Page and others that we've learned about since. Did he think it wasn't going to come out? Did he think somehow people weren't going to get to the bottom of it, whether it was in the journalists investigating it or inside one of those committees looking into it? How could he sit up there and say, knowing what he knew, that he didn't know of any Russian contacts in the campaign, even if they were innocuous? Why would you say you didn't know anything when you clearly knew that you'd been talked to?
And what about Donald Trump and Mike Pence and Jeff Sessions saying that nobody on their campaign talked to Russians? As Mike Pence said, we just talked to Americans.
Right.
No, they talked to Russians. They talked to Russians a lot. And then they've spent the last 9 months lying about all of their contacts with Russians.
So
I see lots of separate facts, but in the end, till you can prove a crime, I'm not budging. Propaganda might have had some impact. Here is what really was the problem. Hillary and Donald were not trusted or liked. They both damaged themselves often. Media insisted all year Trump couldn't win. Most polls were in margin of error, yet we were told 97% certainty Hillary would win. Clinton meeting on tarmac with the DOJ. Comey news conference listing all Hillary did wrong, then said no charges. For 6 presidential elections, we have been divided. Usually 5 or so states would decide election except for media dislike of Trump. Why should we believe that had changed at all? For 3 decades, Washington and media campaigned, then ignored us afterwards and did what they wanted. 2016, they couldn't even pretend during an election. They respected our opinion. All of 2016, we heard Trump couldn't win, yet media in Washington acted like he could. They didn't just attack Trump, they intentionally made him seem so bad. Many went to his rallies to see a man self-destruct, only to find out he made sense. Don't get me wrong, it definitely sounded bad. He made me cringe often, but nowhere near as bad as the person media said he was all the time in the news. None of this had anything to do with either candidate and everything to do with the media and Washington and the anger of some voters and other voters so sure Hillary couldn't lose they didn't bother to vote. 40% of registered voters stayed home. I do not believe for a second many of them were Trump voters. Trump voters were highly motivated. Look at the extremes they went to just to protect his signs that they put out on the lawn. While Hillary voters spent more time stealing Trump signs than going door to door for the horribly flawed candidate they had foisted on them. That's how Trump got elected, and until you can show me a hacked voting machine, and you're not going to convince me to ignore my own eyes.